a child is born, small child, who teaches them how to suck the milk out of mother's breast? How does he learn that? Who teaches him how to drink milk? Instinct. Or we can say the nature guides him. There's an inbuilt intelligence in the child. Yeah. So starting from the very beginning today, when you come out of the womb, nobody teaches you anything. You instinctively know where the milk is. In the womb, nobody taught you how to suck, because there's a process. You have to suck in, right? There's an act. Nobody teaches you that act. But the moment you are out of the womb, you know that when you suck, you're fed, right? Then this child grows a little bit. He doesn't even know what he is and what he is not. Have you ever observed a small child looking at his own limbs? He's looking at his limbs in the cradle, and he thinks that this is not him, right? He doesn't know if the limbs are also belongs to him. He doesn't even know that. The child grows a little bit more. Now he's trying to learn to walk or crawl, and he hits a table, and he starts to hit the table back. The next step, he doesn't know what is living and what is not living. For him, a table is also a living being. There's a whole secret in these 3 steps. So for child, even the table is a living being, which quantum physics is proving, yes, table is also a living being. So child knew it. Child didn't know if these limbs are his or not. He's coming from an absolute space of nothingness, formless. And when he comes into the space of forms, he can't recognize which is his form, which is not his form, because he's still surrounded from the space of formless, because that's the zone he's come from. And then an interesting thing starts to happen. The mechanism of mind starts to develop in this small being. The moment this mechanism of mind starts to develop, the world of forms starts to appear. And slowly he stops losing connect with the formless, and he starts getting into the form, the world of the forms. Now everything around is a form. And as this mind starts to develop more, and we as parents or society or teachers starts to feed that mind, so a lot of data starts to get into the mind, and a deep sense of separation starts to come. This is me and that is you, and this form is me and that form is you. A separation starts to come in this stuff called mind. And then another 40 years passes in that process of working and identifying with the forms. Everything is just a form. And the world from where we came from, which is the world of formless, we totally lose contact with that. Each word that we are speaking or hearing is also form. Now 40 years go by, and suddenly a spiritual quest starts in us. And in that spiritual quest, we now again want to reclaim the understanding of the formless. And we think it's a rocket science, only a Buddha can achieve that. It's a state, only a Krishna can achieve that. And we totally forget that this is who we were when we were born. The whole sense of formless was with us, and the mind developed and the world of forms appeared, and we got totally lost in that. So the journey starts to go backward as a spiritual process. You start to go back to the zone of formless again, or realize the zone of formless again. In a nutshell, that's the entire quest. from the form to the formless back again. But when we do this process, we go to a lot of scriptures, we go to a lot of different kind of sadhanas, but what we do not pay attention to is our own first year on this earth, where the entire understanding or the realization of formless was totally built in into the process. It was so fresh in it. But then slowly we start to lose it. And with the mind, language comes. We were talking about something yesterday, that each word that we speak or read, alok, is nothing but a form. And now you're trying to understand the formless with this form. Are you understanding what I'm saying? And these words, these statements are information, right? Have you ever looked at this word, information? Inform. The center part of information is form. So we are trying to reach back to the formless using this process of information, where the form is inbuilt into the process, into the word. And this is what I was referring to you yesterday, that all the things that we're reading, they are form. They cannot take me to the formless, because their very nature is information. They're forming the forms. The more I read, the more information, which is form, which is forming, is happening within. Are you understanding? So with that information, I can never go back to the formless. Hence, most of this becomes a block in the journey rather than, becomes a hindrance in the journey rather than a support.